Hello and welcome back, dear students. Today we are going to continue few important concepts regarding the population dynamics. And in this, we will begin with birth rate and death rate. And this is the important parameter in order to study about the population of any country. Birth rate is considered as the birth takes place in a particular population, and generally it is also called by the name natality rate. So there is a formula that we should apply in order to find out the birth rate of any country, and this is calculated on this basis. The crude birth rate, that is generally called as a CBR, is expressed the births taking place for every 1000 individuals in a year. So CBR is equal to birth in a year divided by the population into 1000, and this is what every country's birth rate is estimated. Now this is the important concept because with the help of that we can understand how the population balance is maintained. More birth rates, more death rates, less birth rates and less death rates will cause the problem to the population and to the government, even to the country also. And if there is a proper balance between these two concepts, then the country can easily be prosperous. Let's take a look at birth rate is dependent on which factors. The birth rates are influenced by the number of factors like fertility, nutrition, policies, the social values and culture. Let's discuss in short. If the fertility rate of the people in that region is lower, birth rate also will be low. Nutrition factors, if they are getting a nutritious food, definitely they will be healthy, chances to have the higher birth rate. Policies, government policies. If the government encourages the birth rates, then there are good possibilities to increase the birth rate. If the countries are against of the birth rate policies, definitely it will affect the birth rates. Social values and culture. In social values, people, according to their standard of life, they think, should we give more birth or not? And culture, there are some cultures where it is expected that we should give the more birth, and somewhere it is less. So these are the factors affecting to the birth rate. Let's take a look at death rate. Death rate similar to birth rates, it is also called by the name mortality rate, and it is calculated same like birth rate. The deaths per 1000 years in an individual year, it is called as crude death rate, and it is calculated by having this formula. Crude death rate is equal to death per year divided by the population into 1000. We will get the proper death rate of that particular country. And death rate is also influenced by some of the factors, just like a war. Example, if the war broke out in a country, definitely there are lots of changes into the population because many people can die at a time. Just like example of World War First and Second. Second example, diseases. The greatest epidemic diseases can also cause the higher death rate. Example, Corona. During the Corona period, majority of the countries lost the people, and the people died in a great number. Technology and medical facilities. Good medical facilities, less number of death. More medical facilities, or less number of medical facilities, more number of deaths. Healthcare and nutrition. These factors also responsible for deciding the death rates. Here you can try to find it out on the graph how the India's death rate and birth rate is managed from the 1941 to 2011. So we can see there is a lots of gap between death and birth rate from the Indian point of view. Moving to the next, here we can try to understand according to the 2017 data what type of birth rate and death rate we have. Birth rate 19 and death rate 7. This means there is lots of gap between the death and birth rate. So here birth rate is double than the death rate. This is totally imbalanced, can cause to have the proper growth of the population. Next one. Next factor, the important one, is called as immigration or emigration. Try to understand not only the birth and the death rate, these are the factors also influence to the people to travel from one place to another. And when the people move from one place to another, generally it is called by the name migration. But how do they move? Based on that, there are two concepts. Try to understand that. The first one, when some people entered in another country, example, Sri Lankan people, if they are entering in India in order to get a job or better education or better medical facilities, and that too permanently, this is called as immigration. And when the people travel and enter in one country, definitely that country's population increases. Next is emigration. Now emigration in the sense, Indian people are traveling to Sri Lanka. So when you leave India, then it is called as emigration. Now that can be the reason due to the medical facilities, education or job. But this causes to have the decrease in the number of population in India. So this is how the immigration and emigration works out. So actual population growth, if you want to find it out, it is not dependent on the birth rates and death rates. Also we need to calculate immigration and emigration, because these also causes to have the fluctuations of people in and around. So totally, along with the birth rates and the death rates, these two also actually impacting on the population growth. Here take a look at, according to 2015 data, in the world 244 million people migrated from countries to country. So that can be immigrated or immigration. Now here United States was the best country where the majority of the immigrations has been taken place. Other countries are also there where the immigration has taken place in a large quantity, just like Germany, Russia, Saudi Arabia, UK and United Arab Emirates. Now why do these people mostly travel from one country to another? There are two factors responsible for that. These are called as pull or push factor. Pull factors are attractive factors and there are motives behind this. And the push factors refers to the motive for immigration, in the sense they will be forcefully lead out of the country. That is a push factor, pushing out of the country. Now push factors, the important ones are unemployment. As the country is unable to provide the job to all the people in India, some people, in order to get the job, leave their country and settle in another country. That's a forcefully. Political unrest. If there are wars are being taken place, if there is a lots of military action is taking place in the country, there are no political stability, people do not want it to stay in that country, they will go into the safe place. Poor living conditions. Some countries are underdeveloped or developing countries, so these countries faces the problem of poor living conditions. So people, those who want the best facilities, they go to the another countries. Unfavorable climate, diseases, natural calamities and socio-economic backwardness. Good climate, people will travel to that country. If there are countries disease free, then Disease free in the sense where there are good medical facilities are available, where the treatment can be done. In that countries, people prefer to live. Natural calamities, just like hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes, where these are not occurring, that will be the favorite place of the people. So people will try to move from their country to these kind of a safer countries. And socio-economic backwardness. So these are some of the push factors responsible for the peoples to immigrate. Next, what we have, job opportunities. These are called as pull factors, attractive factors. People wanted to get a good job, so they just go there. Attractive jobs are available in other countries. Next one, pleasant climate. Some countries pleasant climate attract the people, so they try to settle in that country. Economic and the social stability and security you will get it in some of the countries, just like jobs, their crime rates are less, their laws are proper. Because of that, people try to move to that countries. And pull factors attract to the people to go to the another countries. So this is what the two factors affect to the immigration and emigration in these countries, causes to have the fluctuation into the population of particular countries. So that also important in the population accumulation.